Yes, I'm okay. I'm fine. Yeah, she's okay. Okay, so I prompt her. I think she's okay. There's no need myself. Yeah. Within the months of September to December every year, high vehicular movements are experienced as a result of festivities. These months are called EMBER months, associated with frequent road crashes and deaths, with high rate of crime recorded. The last quarter of the year amplifies engagements of all sorts of activities for the road and its user. Hence, utmost caution by all is needed. The perception for these months is felt differently depending on one's beliefs and disposition to life. But to the Federal Road Safety Corps, well, your guess is as good as mine. It is safety, safety, safety for the road user, which is key. To this end, the Acting Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Deputy Corps Marshal Dawood Alibiu, in a press conference to update the public on the commencement campaign for the 2022 EMBER months that the Corps has put in place as measures to guarantee safer motoring environment throughout the months and beyond. He said 1st of September marks the beginning of EMBER months, so the Corps has a statutory mandate of ensuring safety of lives and property of road users, but was emphatic on the dangers of night trips, expressing concerns on overloading of vehicles, violating speed limits, disregard to traffic rules and regulations, among many other road offenses. On Nigeria Today, we'll be focusing on the EMBER months and road safety. I am Lydia Odijochi. Welcome to the program. With me to discuss EMBER months and road safety, of course, who else? Is BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal and Public Education Officer, FRSA. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for having me.
Also with me in the studio is Anthony Chukwudi Asogwa, Deputy General Secretary in charge of Education, NURTW National Headquarters, Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, let me come to you right away. September, October, November, and December are here again. Now, what do these months signify to you as a road safety officer and to the Corps?
Well, let me begin by saying that they are usual months. They are just months like every other month. Only that there's always an upsurge in vehicular and human traffic as a result of the Yuletide that is coming. People are already preparing for Christmas. Some people are already preparing for New Year. But because of these, the commercial drivers want to make more trips. Some of them want to overload their vehicles. And everybody is preparing. One way or the other, you're preparing for... And most of our people have a way of situating ceremonies around this period. They now want to do funeral, they want to do ceremonies, they want to do housewarming, weddings, and so on and so forth. So activities are many. And because of these, some people even believe that there are spirits lurking around to suck blood. And that's why, very funny enough. But we are in FRSC, as ethical of us, we believe that there are usual months, only that we need to tighten our belt to make sure that we're very, very careful, to be more cautious, to obey all traffic rules and regulations, and life continues.
All right. Okay, now let me come to you, Sir Chukwudi.
Okay.
Year in, year out, we have your union enlightening your drivers on the manner they should operate on our roads. But yet we still have reports of accidents here and there, year in, year out. How do you intend to do things differently this year, this time around?
Thank you. Actually, I've always been doing things differently. It won't be peculiar to this particular year. And I want to disabuse the notion that accidents are most of the time caused by commercial vehicle drivers. It's not true.
Okay.
Yes, because if you drive along the roads, you will see that in most cases, sometimes you find private vehicles being involved in ghastly accident. Exactly. So, and like you rightly pointed out, I mean the assistant commercial, the EMBER moons, there's nothing special or spirit behind it. No, that notion is very wrong. It's just that, like you pointed out earlier on, that activities are more because people engage in meetings, weddings, marriages, and all this. And that is the reason why the roads are more busier. And again, sometimes most causes of accident not as a result of overspeeding. Some are caused by bad roads.
Okay.
You can agree with me that in Nigeria, over let me say 70 to 80% of our roads are bad. That is a fact.
Okay.
Verifiable facts.
Okay.
Yes, because we apply the rules. So these are some of the causes, the factors that leads to
Overloading.
overloading.
Especially during this period.
Yes. And I thank God he's here. We normally hold what we call EMBER month rallies, where we jointly with them educate our members. Okay. But one problem again is that during this period, there are maybe vehicles that have been parked for years. Some people, because they want to travel home, they'll just bring such vehicles without proper maintenance and put them on the road. You have cases where some people sleep along the highways in their course of traveling home. So there are so many factors that lead to road crashes. Because the road safety, they don't believe in accidents, they say it's road crashes. But like this year, we'll still do our best to ensure that we'll have accident-free celebrations.
All right.
In conjunction with the road safety.
Okay, let me still come to you. The call, like he said, you work together, you synergize to enlighten and create awareness among the transport drivers and owners. Now, I know that, of course, you engage in public enlightenment campaigns, in rallies in motor parks. How do you intend to strategize this time around this year?
Well, that is why today, the commercial day press conference to sensitize the motoring public and Nigerians at large. And the essence of this is that it's a clarion call on all commanding officers, zonal commanding officers, sector commanders, unit commanders, outpost commanders, corridor commanders, all of them now will begin to sensitize the public by engaging in various activities such as motor park rallies, such as church and mosque advocacies, market advocacies, even nightclub advocacies will begin that. So it's just now we need to, and that is why the theme this year is that we're saying avoid overloading, avoid speeding, and unused, the tires that are not good, so as to be able to arrive alive. So in essence, the campaign will be very vigorous and sporadic to make sure that we are able to talk to several people on how not to use the road, in order to know that only the living celebrates. It's only when you are alive that you can celebrate. So it's taking a dimension that the public education and advocacy will be all over. And more so, we now have a radio station that is done as our own traffic radio, where we continue again to sensitize the general public. Mind you, this is going to be along with enforcement, but we have realized that education or enlightenment without enforcement is like entertainment. People do not eat well. So as we are doing this, we'll be going out again to enforce the law and to equally have mobile courts all around so that we can try people summarily. Some people could be jailed, some people could be fined, some people could, it depends on the magistrate. So activities are there, and we are releasing, fortunately enough, the present government has just released close to 300 vehicles to FRSC, which has been deployed. Visibility will be there for everybody to see that we're on the road, and we will increase, in fact, our activity from morning towards night. Not totally in the night because we don't carry arms, but we're going to work with other law enforcement agencies to make sure that we patrol till about 10 in the evening. And our rescue operations will be on. We'll be doing traffic calming, we'll be doing traffic counting, we'll be doing a lot of things to make sure that people arrive safely at their different homes.
All right. That's quite a lot. We hope that everything truly comes to bear.
We pray so.
Yeah. Okay, now let me come to Sachukudi.
Yeah.
You enumerated some factors that could lead to accidents.
Yes.
You said overspeeding, overloading, and bad roads. Okay, now, what are these?
And also vehicles that are not
fit
to be
and
on
of
the road.
course, you said some people could doze off while sleeping.
Well, I didn't say that, but it does happen. Actually, it does happen.
I've witnessed one myself.
Of course, it does happen.
I witnessed one.
Yes.
In fact, that was many years back, traveling from Zaria to Kaduna. And all of a sudden, I just noticed, I looked at the rearview mirror, and I noticed the driver's eyes were closed.
Well,
and I was like, what, am I seeing double? Is this guy really sleeping now? And I was like, he's wake up. And he now woke up. He was sleeping. So what would you say about such a thing? Does that mean they don't get enough rest? They're just trying to make as many trips as they want? Just to cash in?
It may not necessarily be because they are making more trips. We are human beings. But you see, in advanced climes, they have stops where you can, if you feel something like that, you can now park, take a little rest, and continue with your journey. So, but honestly, it is bad. So any person who knows, it will be part of the enlightenment campaign we'll carry out. If you feel that probably you overworked yourself the previous night, it will rather stay and don't embark on a journey. Because it's better for you to go and come back alive than trying to force yourself when you know you cannot do that. And those of
course, actually after they've taken a few drinks.
Well, you see, the issue of drinks, we have been hammering on this, particularly at the motor parks. We have been trying to liaise with the local government to ensure that alcoholic beverages are not sold at the motor parks. But even at that, like I said earlier on, drinking is not peculiar with commercial drivers. I keep emphasizing on that actually. Nevertheless, we don't encourage our members to drive. We have a law, even the Constitution of the Union is well stipulated. We don't drink and drive. And if you are caught doing that, and even if it is noticed that you are drunk, we won't allow you to.
So there are people who watch out for them?
Of course, we have our marshals in the motor parks.
All right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. We'll take a break now to hear the views of some members of the public and their perception on the Ember months and safety on our roads with our correspondent, Thomas Ogbetere.
Cause of most of the accidents, negligence, most of the times. You discover that some people, drivers, more especially the motorist, someone who drive under the influence of alcohol. How do you expect such a person not to have accident? And some don't follow the signs and rules of the route.
Actually, I don't believe there's anything attached, anything evil attached to the Ember month. It's just a superstitious belief. But Many people see the month as maybe when we just get into months that is at like ember months, they start saying that this one, that one is evil, is this, is that. But if they are careful with their driving, and if they take like the road safety, like the safety precautions to driving, I'm sure that there will be no problem.
There should be a safety attached to the driving. That's just to me. Oh. No, most of the drivers, if you board a taxi today, you see them making calls. Even yesterday while I was going home, we passed through a gas station to fill up our tank, and my driver was making a call while even inside. So I just think everything is just all about safety.
I don't think it has anything to do with the month. It has everything to do with people's carelessness, rushing to achieve what they were unable to achieve for the past 8 months, and it's all about carelessness. Careless driving, unnecessary anxiety, or do I call it unnecessary trying to meet up.
Glad to have you back. You're watching Nigeria Today, and our focus is on the ember months and road safety. I'm still with my guests, BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal and Public Education Officer, FRSC, and Anthony Chukwudi Asogwa, Deputy General Secretary in charge of Education, NURTW National Headquarters, Abuja. Now, talking about what they said, they just said anxiety. People are rushing to make up for the past 8 months in 3 months. Okay, now, what arrangements does the Corps have on ground in case of emergencies when accidents occur?
Well, that is, you know, we have a toll-free line that is known as 122, and that is one of the best technology device that has ever happened to the FRSC. We have there is 24/7. As I'm talking to you, people are there receiving calls in case there's any situation. And like I told you before, we have extended our patrols to about 10 p.m. in the night. And apart from this, in all formations, you have rescue team available that is in the night in situation of crashes. And we have, because of this 122 and because we can locate ourselves easily, our response time has reduced drastically. In the situation of a crash now, under 3-5 minutes, people are on ground. So we are armed with a lot of things, devices, cones, to cordon off the road in case of a crash situation. We have tow trucks available that have just been released, medium and even large-scale tow trucks. We have ambulances. We have zebra points where this thing could be reported to. So we are fully ready. We are praying that there should not be crashes. That's why we call it zero tolerance this time around, operator, zero tolerance. And in a situation where we have such, we are fully ready. People are armed with devices that could assist them, security machines, and so on and so forth in situation of crashes.
Okay, let me continue now. I want to talk about actually bigger heavy-duty vehicles, because a lot of people say they take advantage of the size of their vehicle to cause accidents on the roads. And now in that aspect, what are the sanctions in place for drivers of articulated vehicles and heavy-duty trucks?
Sanctions, that is if they are found culpable in any situation. Of course, like I said earlier on, we have provisions in our constitution. And of course, our marshals at the motor parks are there always to ensure that. But you know, you cannot be moving with them along the highway. But before they leave the motor park, we ensure that the vehicles are in good order, and also that the driver himself has not taken any intoxicating beverages.
Some of them are guilty of that.
Yes.
And some of them park, the way they park on the highways, causing accidents.
Yes, because Nigerian roads, the way they are built, ordinarily, there should have always been like we have been making efforts to collaborate with local governments in most of the states so that we have trailer parks. When you have trailer parks, they will not be on the road, on the highway. But because most of the roads are tiny, by the time they park, a sizable portion of the roads have been taken over. However, we will continue to collaborate with the relevant agencies to ensure that these things are curbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me come to you, officer. There have been some instances where accidents are caused by stray animals. You're driving, an animal just crosses the road and it causes an accident. That is one factor. Now, what is the Corps doing about that? And then I'll still ask you about enforcement of the use of seatbelts and the speed limiting device.
Yeah, we teach ourselves and we enlighten people. Number one thing you need to know about driving is concentration. And apart from this, there's one thing we call common sense speed limit. That you are asked to go on 100 kilometers per hour does not mean that when you hit the road, you should be on 100 kilometers per hour. You should know that if it's raining, weather condition, light condition, there are situations that could make you, even traffic situation could make you to go less than 100 kilometers per hour. One of it is what you have just talked about, stray animals on the road. You should anticipate, and that is why we're advocating that everybody must be a defensive driver. A defensive driver is that person that sees every other road user as potent danger to himself or herself, and is already driving for the other person. So you anticipate that there could be a stray animal, and you go at very slow speed, and you'll be able to, once that one happens, then you'll be able to maintain your speed and halt very well. So driving entails 100% concentration. It entails situation where you must use your common sense always. As we are talking to,
which is not common.
We are equally talking to the others too, that they should know that right of way does not mean that you just put your animals on the road anyhow. There should be path for you where you can. We've seen some of them trying to cross the road just like that. So the enlightenment is not for people driving alone. Enlightenment goes to every road user, and that is why we call it motoring public. As we are educating the others, we are equally educating the motoring public. The problem is attitude. If he was talking about roads. Yes, if roads are bad, there could be been crashes. But again, the most important is human factor. Out of the three constitutive agents in crashes, we look at human, mechanical, and environmental factors. Human, let's say the driver, let's say the road is environmental factor, and mechanical is the vehicle.
Yes.
The most important is the person driving. Yes. Even if the road is bad, if you go on common sense speed, and you are able to maneuver well and drive well, you will not be involved in a crash. So the attitude, the ability for us to know that, look, I want to drive safely, I want to get to the next destination. That is a big
and good judgment too. Now, let's hear your parting words as we round up.
Okay.
To Nigerians and your drivers.
Yes. You know, you mentioned about stray animals also. That's what we call built-up areas. When you're approaching a built-up area, you're supposed to slow down. Yes. Okay. So that because not just animals, children. Yes. It is always said that behind a ball.
That's true.
So children can as well cross road carelessly. So it is and that is cause for this continuous enlightenment.
And of course, the passengers have a right to tell the passenger.
Of course, to tell the driver that you are driving either recklessly or otherwise.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's even my party shot.
Okay, let's hear.
As a passenger, you must be active.
Okay.
Do not be a passive passenger. You have every right to stop that driver before he kills you. You should know that drivers do not die mostly in accident situation. Passengers die more than drivers. So you have every right to stop that driver before he kills you. And as a driver, know that only delivery celebrate.
That's
Ember
it.
months are here. You must know that you want to drive into the new year
All
safely.
right. Thank you very much. This is where we'll call it a day. And we hope that if possible, and we'll have an accident-free Ember months in 2022. That's truly our wish. And of course, every Nigerian.
Of course, thank you.
At this juncture, I want to appreciate BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal and Public Education Officer, FRSC. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Anthony Chukwudi Asogwa, Deputy General Secretary in charge of Education, NURTW, National Headquarters, Abuja. Thank you for finding your time to
Thank you, and
share
also
your thoughts
thank
with
our
us.
viewers as well.
All right. And to you, our viewer, thanks for being a part of this program. But remember, tomorrow is another day. You can watch this episode and other ones at www.youtube.com/NTD24. I am Lydia Odidio. She said goodbye for now. See you tomorrow.